there, it's Nina with Walla Stamping. Thanks for joining me today. So this is the little project that I'm going to share with you today. I got all of my goodies in the mail from the new catalog order that I placed last week. I got that on Monday of this week, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to play with first, so I looked it over, and I really like anything that glimmers or shines, and this paper is called Foil Frenzy, and I love it. Now this is a green shade, and I'll have to be honest, I didn't look to see exactly what green this is. I think that it's Pear Pizzazz because to me it matches that color cardstock better than any of the other greens, so that's what I'm going to go with. And so anyways, let me just sit this down and tell you everything that I use to make this project. So first of all, the star of this show is the Foil Frenzy cardstock, and I have a couple of pieces here. This one is cut to 5 by 3, and this one is 2.5 by 3. Then I have a piece of Daffodil Delight, and this is 3.5 by 2.5. A piece of Tangerine Tango, 3.5 by 2. A piece of Basic Black, which is 3.5 by 2.5. And then I just have a scrap piece of the Whisper White. To do my stamping with, I'm going to be using Tangerine Tango. To cut out all of the little medallion pieces, I'm going to be using my oval or my layering ovals framelits to do some of that with, but I have a brand new punch here, and I've gotten smart and I've started labeling them because for the life of me I can never remember what they're called. This is the Pretty Label Punch. It's a brand new, and I really like the shape of it, so I'm going to be using that punch, and I'm going to be using the Classic Label Punch. Now the stamp set that I'm using is also a brand new item in the new catalog. This is called Happy Birthday Gorgeous, and all of these little sentiments you see here, as well as this stamp, fits inside this punch. Very cool. Then you have the balloon, which you can stamp the little polka dots on the inside, and you just have lots of different small little elements here that you can use to create sentiments with, do background stamping with, or just whatever you choose to do with them. I'm loving this very much. So that is the basis of this package. Let's get started making it. So the first thing that I'm going to do is just go ahead and do my stamping. So I'm going to take my scrap piece of paper here. I have You Look Gorgeous mounted on a block G, so I'm going to grab my Tangerine Tango ink, and I just stuck my finger in it. I do that all the time. Let me wipe that off over here. Alrighty, so I'm just going to get this inked up, and I'm going to stamp that right here. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to be straight, because I'm going to punch it out. So now I'm going to take my Classic Label Punch, slide that in there, and get it as straight and centered as I possibly can, just eyeballing it, and punch that puppy out. So we've got that done. Now I'm going to move some of these things out of the way because I'm going to go ahead and get the other items cut out. So I'll start with, well actually I think I can do all of these at one time. First of all, I will take my Tangerine Tango and my, Pretty Label Punch, and I'm just going to slide that in there. Go ahead and punch that out. No stamping is going to be done on this piece of cardstock. So let me grab my Big Shot real quick. I'm going to put my Basic Black and my Daffodil Delight, grab my layering ovals, and I'm going to get the third from the largest and place it on top of the Basic Black, and then I'm going to get the, let's see, so that would be 1, 2, 3, the fourth from the largest, and put it on my Daffodil Delight, and then just run those through my Big Shot. Now I'm going to be using Fast Fuse, and I'm going to adhere my Tangerine Tango with just a strip of that to the center of my Daffodil Delight oval. Then I'm going to take my Whisper White with my sentiment, and I'm going to be using the foam, what are these called? Foam adhesive strips, I think. I'm just going to cut some pieces of this off. Actually, I'm just going to pull it up and do it this way. Flip this over. Well, no, that's not what I'm doing. Flip this over. Stick that down the back. If I make it a little bit too long, I will just snip off what I don't need. Take the backing off and stick that down right across the center there. Before I push it down and make sure it's adhered really well, I'm going to try to make sure I have it in the center. Then, before I adhere this piece to the basic black, I'm going to put my rhinestones. Now, what I've done is I've taken a bright green Sharpie. Let me find it for you. It's right here. It doesn't have a name for this color on the marker, so I'm not sure, but it's just kind of a neon looking green. But when you put it on top of the rhinestone, it really matches this color very, very well. And all I did was I just took my Sharpie and I just went around the rhinestone like that, and when it dries, it's permanent. So that is a pretty cool little trick right there. I'm going to use my paper piercing tool to pick up my rhinestones, and I'm just going to stick them around here and there on top of my little medallion that I'm building here. I'm not going to put them in any particular order or any particular place. I'm just kind of looking at it as I go and putting them where I think they'll look good. So anyways, this is not exactly what I would want this to look like. I like the way that I did this one better, but it's going to have to be okay for now. Alright, so let's get into sticking this on this. And again, I'm going to use the adhesive foam strips and just put 3 pieces. If you have Stampin' Dimensionals instead of these, by all means, you can use those. I just like using these because I get a lot of coverage, and this is kind of a heavy medallion because it's a few layers, so I decided to use these strips today instead of dimensionals, but of course you can use whatever you like. Then I'm just going to get that centered up on top of the basic black, get that pushed down. Now I'm just going to use my Stampin' Trimmer to do the scoring on this. There's no need to get out the Simply Scored. And I'm going to line this up at the 1/2 inch mark on the right hand side, move my cutting blade back, and just give that a quick little score. I'm going to fold that over, and then I am going to take my scissors and just snip a little wedge out of either side here. Again, I'm going to use my fast fuse, put a strip of that there. Now, what you're going to want to do in order to make sure that you have the foil dots showing, both of them facing you, you're going to have to put the flap over part face down and the back portion, which is this, face up. Then just line up that edge with that score line that's going across there, but you want to come just slightly below the score line so that it will fold over nicely and get the 2 sides even. So I'm just going to give that a good little press with my bone folder. Now, let me move some of this out of the way. I'm going to use, where are they? My glue dots, and I'm going to use my paper piercing tool to get those off with. Now what I have here are 2x8 cellophane bags. They come, how many is in a package? 50 of them are in a package. And I'm going to take this little box. Y'all may have seen the video for this project that I did yesterday. I think I posted it today. It was either last night or today I posted it. And I had put these little Jordan almonds in there. So I'm just going to use those again today. Of course, you could put whatever you like in here. You could put some M&Ms, or one of my children's favorites little candies is Swedish Fish. Isaiah loves those. Ella loves Skittles. Tucker loves Reese's Pieces. So any of those candies would be great to use in here. And I'm going to fill this up just about halfway. make sure I got those. I think I can put a couple more in there. Alrighty, let me get that out of the way. Then I'm going to come in here and just cut off probably 1.5 inches, 2 inches from the top. Going to take my fast fuse again and just run a little strip of it right across there. Then I'm going to do a little bit of measuring here. I'm going to lay my bag down because I don't want it past the edge here of my paper. So I'm going to lay it down there and determine where I'm going to fold that over at the top. Then I'm going to take my glue dots at this point and I'm going to use a couple on the back here. So I'm going to put one right there and then put another one kind of close to the bottom, about maybe 1 inch away from the bottom of the bag. Then get that centered up in there and give that a good little press on those glue dots and get that stuck down. And then I'm also going to use a couple of glue dots here to make sure that it stays stuck down on the flap stays stuck down. Then I'm just going to fold that over right there. Well, I didn't give it a good enough little press. There we go, that's better. Now I'm going to take my fast fuse again. Well, I take that back. I didn't use fast fuse because I've got too much bulk on there to be able to do that with. So I'm going to use my fine tip glue pen and just run a little bit of that glue on the back of that. And then stick that on top. And this glue will dry fairly quick, so just stick that down and let it sit for just a little bit and it will be dry. So I hope that you guys like this project today. It's really a fun, quick project to make. If you're ever a part of craft fairs like at your children's school or at your church or anything like that, where you sell little items for whatever you might be doing a fundraiser for or anything like that, these are good little items to have for that. You could sell them for, you know, $2 or $3, whatever you think is appropriate, and people would buy these up like crazy. So this is a really good idea. So make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like what you've seen here, and punch that little bell so that you'll get alerts whenever I make a new video. Also, be sure to go over to my website at wallastamping.com. I will have a free printable PDF of this project, which will have all the measurements, all the supplies needed, and you can shop right at my online store directly from my website if there's anything that you might need. Also, if you have any questions about anything, if you need a catalog, just reach out to me, send me an email, or make a comment underneath this post, and I will get back with you as soon as I can. So I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.